And Father knows best.
Welcome to the Enrichment Center's first radio theater presentation, and for joining the Easthampton radio players as we present this play for your enjoyment. We focus on interpretive acting by using our voices, just like the original radio plays, which is why we are using a screen to better imitate the play as if you were hearing it on the radio. The pictures on the screen and your program will identify who the actors are and their roles. The radio play will take about 30 minutes, and afterwards, the actors will come out front to take a bow. Please feel free at any time to laugh out loud to any parts of the play. One moment, and we shall start our performance. And let the show begin.
Prior to the introduction of television, radio was perhaps the dominant entertainment medium in America. Families gathered in their homes in the afternoons and evenings to listen to their favorite radio programs, which included short plays, variety shows, comedy acts, and serial stories, all of which captured and held their attention and imagination. These programs all communicated their respective messages by relying almost solely on the spoken word by reading from script, as you will be hearing today. The program you are about to hear, Father Knows Best, was one of the many popular performances of its day. It first aired on Monday, December 20th, 1948 at 8:30 in the evening. In this version, the story was about the Henderson family, not the Anderson family, as we came to know them in the later TV version. The role of the father, Jim, was created with Robert Young in mind. He, of course, went on to perform the TV role. Today's reenactment of the play stars the eminent actors Robert Reiser, Kathy Dolat, Julie Kinsman, Susan Taylor, Chris Nordorf, Mark Majeski, and Gordon Brown, and is brought to you by KKSJ in Easthampton. In an average town, Springfield, on an average street, Maple, lives an average American family, the Hendersons. The husband, Jim, is very much in love with his wife, Margaret, and they're both quite fond of their three children, Betty, Bud, and Kathleen, which I should say is an average way for parents to feel. On this particular morning, which is an average sort of day, the Hendersons are ready for an average sort of meal, breakfast. Well, they're supposed to be ready, but you know how it is. The average mother calls,
"Jim, your breakfast is on the table."
"Mother, I can't find my skates!"
"Kathleen, come in, start your breakfast."
"Oh, breakfast? Don't you understand, Mother? This is a crisis! Skates!"
"Eat your breakfast, dear, and we'll look for the skates later."
"Mother, that's practically the first place I looked."
"Well, how about the service porch?"
"They aren't there. They aren't anywhere. Oh, what am I going to do?"
"You're going to eat your breakfast. I'll run out to the garage and see if you left them there. And don't use too much sugar on your cereal."
"Look way in the back
no skates on the stairs.
Good morning, Daddy dear.
I want to speak to you, young lady.
What about, Daddy?
Skates, eh? How many times have I asked you not to leave your skates on the stairs?
Oh, is that where they were?
Oh,
Oh, golly, I simply looked everywhere and couldn't find them.
Good morning, dear. Did you have a nice... Jim, what did you do to your chin?
I came down the stairs on it.
Let me see. Oh, Jim, your poor chin.
Oh,
Isn't it wonderful, Mother? Daddy fell down the stairs and found my skates.
I did not fall down the stairs.
Please, Jim, hold still. How can I fix your chin?
I will not have that child telling people I fell down the stairs. I tripped over the confounded skates. Is that the only place she can find to leave them?
Well, she's very sorry, dear. Aren't you, Kathy?
Huh? Oh, sure. Daddy?
Not now, Kathy. Have some coffee, Jim. It will make you feel better.
Other people have children and they have skates, but other people have discipline in their homes. Old-fashioned discipline. The kind of discipline we had in my home when I was a boy. There was a place for everything, and everything had its place.
Mom! Hey, Mom!
I'm sorry, dear. We'll try to do it better. What is it, Bud?
I can't find my other shoe. Where'd you put it?
Look under the dresser.
Okay.
Is that where you generally put his other shoe?
Sometimes. How do you want your eggs this morning, dear?
Oh, I don't care.
Daddy? I was just wondering.
Kathy, this is a very bad time to bother your father. We better let it go for a while. Well, shall I scramble them, Jim?
Yeah, that sounds good.
But it's important, Mother. It's the most important thing in my life.
What is?
It's really nothing, dear.
All right, Kathy, stop looking like Ingrid Bergman and tell me what it is.
I need $2, Daddy. I'm desperate.
$2 for what?
Wings.
What did she say, Margaret?
She said, wings.
That's what I thought. Why does she need wings?
I have to be an angel. I told them I would. I just have to be. And they cost $2.
It's a school play, dear. Kathleen said she'd be an angel.
Well, I can certainly see they're not casting to type. Kathy, you got an allowance, don't you?
If you can call it that. A quarter.
When I was 9 years old, I had to work for every penny I got. I couldn't walk up to my father and say, I want $2 for wings.
Were you an angel?
Oh, no, I certainly was not.
Well then, you didn't need wings. But I promised I'd be an angel.
All right, then find a way to sprout wings without my $2.
Oh, but Daddy, I'll be just ruined. Oh, Mother, can't you?
We won't discuss it any further, Kathy. Your father knows best.
Oh, how will I face them without wings? They were counting on me.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, what happened to the squirt?
Oh, just a minor tragedy. Drink your orange juice, Bud.
Say, Dad, I was just thinking...
Bud, not now. Let your father read the paper.
But I was just gonna tell...
Not now, dear, please.
But how much time have I got left?
You don't mind if I get in on this, do you? How much time for what?
Well, Dad, we're going on a picnic tomorrow. A whole bunch of us.
Fine, have a good time.
He can go on picnics, and I can't even have wings? You treat me like an orphan around here. Nobody even loves me.
Oh, Kathy, stop being dramatic. Everyone loves you.
Sure, but not $2 worth.
Kathy, your brother's not asking for $2. Your brother's not asking for anything.
Except for permission to use the car.
Except for permission to... What?
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you about. You see, we're all going out in the country, and I told everybody...
Yeah, well, you're not going to use my car.
Oh, Dad, if I don't, how am I gonna go?
You have a bicycle, haven't you? When I was your age, I was traveling all over the state on my bike.
With a girl? How can I take a girl on a bicycle?
Jim, I just thought that...
One moment, Margaret. James Henderson Jr., you are 15 years of age, and young men of 15 years of age do not go traipsing around the country with girls in my car.
But everybody else does, Dad. I mean, they get to use their father's car. Joe Phillips gets to use his father's car, and he's 2 months younger than I am.
I wouldn't care if he was 3 months younger. And at Wings, you have not got to use the car.
But you know your father doesn't approve of children driving automobiles.
Children? If I wanted to use the car, I'm too young. And if I want to go to the circus, I'm too old. I wish somebody around here would tell me just how old I am.
We've decided you're too young. Now, that will be that.
I'll be an outcast, that's what I'll be. I'll be poisoned with every girl in the school. Me and a bicycle.
But you better eat your eggs before they get ice cold.
What a time to think about eggs. Hey, Dad, how'd it be if I...
No.
But I was just gonna...
No.
But you don't even know...
No, whatever it is, no!
Oh, fine. The way I'm treated around here, you'd think I was an orphan.
Copycat! I said that first!
Quiet, Squirt.
Kathy, leave your brother alone and finish your milk.
But I did say it first, didn't I, Daddy? I said it first, and Bud heard me, and he's an old copycat!
I am not. I wasn't even listening to you.
You were too! You heard me say it, then you said it, and you're an old copycat!
I am not.
You are so!
I am not.
You are so!
Quiet! Both of you, quiet! Oh, Margaret, why can't we ever have a peaceful breakfast in the house?
I'm sorry, dear.
I don't think it's asking an awful lot. When I was a boy, we had wonderful breakfast, quiet breakfast, peaceful breakfast. We had the respect from our elders.
Sure, but you didn't have a kid sister like the brat.
I am not a brat!
You are a brat if I ever saw
I am
one.
not!
You are so.
I am not!
You are so.
Quiet!
Good morning, Mother. Good morning, Father.
Well, what's the matter with her?
I know. I was looking out the window at a bird, and it was sitting on an egg.
How could you ever tear yourself away?
Hey, Pop! You better hide your wallet! This one's going to be a pip!
Father, if you don't do something about that child.
Thank you. I believe I can manage my family without your assistance, Kathy.
Yes, Daddy!
And as your father, I'm quite capable of handling my own financial affairs. Maybe a strain, but I can manage.
Yes, Daddy!
And I prefer that even in moments of stress, you refrain from addressing me as, "Hey, Pop."
Okay, Daddy!
And finally, I believe that I am as well qualified as you to recognize the devious routines employed by your sister in leading up to the announcement that she needs a new dress.
That's telling her, Pop!
What?
Oh, I mean, Daddy!
You're all very amusing, but I don't need a new dress.
Betty, you mean you don't want any money?
No, Father. Why?
You don't want to borrow the car?
Of course not.
Well, at least there's one sensible child in this family, Betty. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, sir. What this country needs is more children who leave their fathers alone at breakfast. I think I'll have another cup of coffee, Margaret.
All right, dear. There you are.
Thank you. Well, Betty, what's the good word in your little world?
Oh, just the most wonderful thing has happened, Father. I'm going to be married.
Jim, hold your arms up over your head quickly. Bud, pound your father on the back.
Why? What's happened?
Don't stand there, do something. Do you want him to choke to death? Jim!
I'm all right.
You're gonna be fine. Dad's just fine.
All right, well, stop beating me on the back. I'll never be all right.
Oh, but Mother told me.
I did not tell you to break your father's spine,
But you told me to pound him.
but not so hard.
Oh,
But you're going to be late for school.
I get it. Come on, Kathy.
Come on, where?
You're going to school.
I don't have to leave for 10 minutes.
Ha! That's what you think.
Hey, stop pulling me, you brute! I have to get my things. Father!
See you later, everybody.
All right, Betty. Now, what was that newsy little item you dropped into the middle of my coffee?
Oh, you mean about getting married? Isn't it wonderful?
Margaret, did you know anything about this?
Not a word, Jim. I still don't. Betty, you're joking, aren't you?
Joking? Mother, do you think I would joke about the most sacred thing in a woman's life?
Jim, she isn't joking.
Betty, you wouldn't mind giving us a little more information, would you? You know, just in case we want to get in touch with you later.
I don't know what you mean, Father.
Well, just for a start, who is he?
Who's who?
The boy, my prospective son-in-law. What's his name?
Billy. Oh, he's wonderful.
Oh, Betty, not Billy Smith.
Just wonderful.
Which one is he?
Oh, you know, Jim, the one who hates football players, the one Betty thinks is so aesthetic.
Aesthetic. If he's the one I think he is, it's a new way of spelling anemic.
Father, Billy is delicate. You have to be delicate if you have a beautiful soul.
Well, that's exactly what this family needs. Someone with a beautiful soul. Margaret, I have to get down to the office. Explain to Betty why she'd be happier if she waits. Make certain, you know, the usual woman-to-woman talk.
All right, dear.
Oh, well, you don't have to worry about us, Father. Billy and I talked it all over last night, and we both decided against a hasty marriage. We intend to wait.
Oh, well, that's fine. I'll be home the usual hour, dear.
All right, Jim.
We're not going to be married until Saturday.
Saturday?
Yep, Saturday night. We were going to make it in the afternoon, but we decided to go to the basketball game first.
Jim, this is an emergency. Put your hat down.
I'll put more than my hat down. Betty, this is the most ridiculous piece of conversation I have ever heard.
Father, you mean you don't approve?
Now, that's the most intelligent remark you've made since you got up. I most decidedly don't approve.
But I don't understand. You've always liked Billy's father.
You mean Hector Smith? Of course I like Hector Smith. He's one of my best clients. Why don't you marry him?
But he is married.
Betty, your father and I have always thought to.
Just a moment, Margaret. I'll handle this. Betty, you're 17 years of age. You're in your first year at the university. You will not marry Billy Smith or anyone else till after your graduation. That's final.
Graduation? But that's 3.5 years. I'll be over 21. The best years of my life will be gone.
Well, darling, we can always have Bud push you up to the altar in a wheelchair.
Oh, you're laughing at me. I think you're horrid. You're just old-fashioned, both of you. You've forgotten what it is to be young and in love. You don't seem to understand that things are different now.
Oh, Betty, nothing's any different. Things like that don't change.
Oh, they do too. Things change all the time. People change, customs change, everything changes. Only you won't admit it.
Oh, darling, why don't you listen to your father? Things are no different now than when we were your age. The young people wore different clothes and they sang different songs, but fundamentally, they were the same, and even then, boys and girls didn't rush headlong into marriage, not until they were ready for it.
You bet they didn't. They listened to their fathers. They were willing to benefit from a lifetime of experience. Why, when I was courting your mother, I was...
Mother, how old were you when you married Father?
Well,
Yes, Mother.
I was 17.
That was different.
Why?
Well, because things were different in those days. People were different. The times were different.
You said they weren't.
Well, they were. I mean, some of them were. Some of them weren't. And some of them were. Only the ones that weren't were more than the Margaret.
Betty, don't you think it'd be a nice idea if Billy and his family were to have dinner with us tonight?
Oh, Mother, would you? Really?
Margaret, I don't want the Smiths for dinner tonight or any other night. I think the idea of a dinner with the Smiths is not only ridiculous but unnecessary. I forbid the marriage, and that's that.
Oh, Jim, you know you like having people in for dinner. The Smiths are very pleasant, and you might be able to sell Hector some more insurance.
Well, that's right. No. Look, Margaret, I'm going to have a tough day at the office. I couldn't take a dinner tonight. Let's make it next week. Or next month.
Dear, we can't put it off for even a day. I'll call the Smiths and see if they can make it. Shall I tell them that dinner will be at 7:30?
7:30? What's the matter at 6 o'clock? I'll be starved by 7:30.
Jim, it just isn't done.
Well, it's going to be done tonight. We'll have dinner at 6.
I'll ask them to be prompt, dear, at 7:30.
Oh, and Mother, can we dress? I mean, can I wear my new dinner gown? Oh, can I, Mother? Oh, please, can I?
Betty, there will be no dressing for dinner.
But Father, Mother, please.
I'm sorry, dear, but you know I never contradict your father after all. Your father knows best.
It's been a long day for the Hendersons. Jim had a hectic day at the office, and Bud has been involved in the intricacies of a higher education.
Look, Margie, it's helpful riding on a bicycle. Well, look at all the fresh air you'll get, and the beautiful muscles. We could even... Margie? Hello, Margie? Hello?
Kathy has been involved in serious plans for the future. She has told her mother about her plans to escape.
Sorry, dear, they don't take girls in the Foreign Legion.
What do you mean they don't take girls? I'll bet they do, especially without wings. You just wait, you'll see.
We have 3 new actors who enter our play now. They are Billy, who is Betty's boyfriend, and Billy's parents, Hector and Elizabeth. Now, back to our performance, where Margaret has been very busy cooking an extra special dinner for the Smiths. And if it's one thing that Margaret can do, it's cook.
Yes, sir, Margaret. If there's one thing you can do, it's cook. That's what I always say.
Thank you, Hector. Do you care for another piece of pie?
Thank you, Margaret, please, yes. I've already had 2 helpings.
You've had 3.
Kathy. Now, about another cup of coffee for Heck. It's nothing like a cup of Margaret's piping hot coffee.
Well, if you insist.
Hector.
I guess I'd better not. Jim, you know how it is, doctor's orders.
Oh, sure. Well, how about you, Dr. Elizabeth, I mean?
Thank you, no. 1 cup of coffee is quite sufficient.
Well, I'm a 2-cup man myself. You know, I was reading just the other day.
Jim, it's not that we don't enjoy your informative little talks, but I was under the impression that this dinner had, well, should I say, a more or less definite purpose.
You mean, yes, absolutely. You know, I had a long talk with Heck before dinner.
Jim, dear, I hate to interrupt, but don't you think it would be a good idea if Bud took Kathy to the movies?
In the middle of the week? I certainly do not. I see what you mean. Yeah. Bud, how would you like to take Kathy to the movies?
Oh, boy!
I wouldn't. I can't think of anything I'd rather do less.
That's fine. Here's $1. Have a good time.
Ah, Dad, do I have to?
Yes, you have.
Yes, you have to.
That'll be enough of that, Kathy.
But I'm surprised. You ought to be glad to take your sister to the movies.
I'd rather go with a gorilla. You don't know what she's like. She never even looks at the picture. She sits around backwards and stares at all the people.
They're funnier. I like to look at their faces.
All right, well, get going. Come on home early, right after the show.
If I'm still alive. Well, good night, everybody. Come on, Squirt.
Hey, stop pulling me. Why do you always have to pull me?
Lovely children.
They mean well, I think.
Mother,
Yes, Betty.
Mother, Billy and I have been talking, and Billy, you tell them.
Would it be all right if we went to the movies?
Oh, no, I should say not. We're here for a purpose, a very definite purpose.
Yes, sir.
We have a problem to discuss, and we're going to do that right now.
Frankly, I think the whole thing is idiotic. Imagine discussing a ridiculous subject like marriage with these children.
We're not children, Mother. We're quite adult. We have adult minds, adult bodies, adult passions.
William,
As I said before, Hector and I had a long talk just a while ago, right, Hector?
Right,
And we're in complete agreement on the subject, right, Hector?
right.
We both feel that an open discussion is the only sensible procedure in a matter of this sort, right?
Right,
Hector, stop being so agreeable.
right. I mean, yes, dear.
Margaret, Elizabeth, Hector and I have agreed on what we consider to be a very sound solution to the entire problem. We've decided to permit Betty and Billy to be married immediately.
Daddy.
Golly, holy cow.
I never heard anything so outrageous in my entire life. Hector, get your hat. William, we're leaving this instant.
I'm not going, Mother.
As soon as William,
I'm 18, Mother. I've got a mind of my own. I love Betty, and we're going to be married.
well, I never.
All right, that's settled. You're going to be married.
Oh, Mother, isn't it wonderful?
I don't know.
Yes, sir, nothing like marriage and responsibility to set a man straight. Where do you kids figure on living? I mean, after you're married, I mean.
Oh, well, we sort of figured we'd move in.
Well, Mother, couldn't Kathy move in with Bud? And then Billy and I could have her room and...
That's ridiculous. Betty, you have to have a home of your own, a place for your roots to take hold and grow. Right, Heck?
Right.
Well, gosh, that would be kind of expensive on my allowance.
Oh, don't worry about your allowance, Billy. Married men don't go around taking allowances from their fathers.
We don't?
Of course not. They're too proud to be supported by their father.
I'm not.
Of course you are. You'll work, you'll sweat and slave, but you'll come home every week with a juicy, fat pay envelope for your little wife.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
But I don't know how to do anything.
Well, that's not so. Poets make a living, and Mother, he writes the most beautiful poetry.
Oh, I'm sure he does, dear.
Billy, recite the one about my hair. It's just wonderful.
Oh, Betty.
Well, it is. Raven tresses on a lofty brow, swept by the winds of time. Isn't that beautiful?
And you could get a small house, poet size.
Say, Jim, I saw an apartment advertised the other day. It'd be just right for the kids. $125 a month, furnished.
Oh, of course, that's without utilities. You know, gas, electricity, telephone.
And food, don't forget food.
That's right, and laundry and cleaning.
Oh, they won't have to worry about that, Jim. Don't you remember when we were first married? I did all our laundry and cleaning and cooking. I'm sure Betty would want to do at least that for Billy. Wouldn't you, dear?
I guess so.
Betty,
Yes, Billy?
could I talk to you for a moment privately?
Of course. Will you excuse us, please? We'll be right back.
All right, kids, take all the time you need. We're in no hurry.
Are they gone?
I think so.
Jim, we did it. Yes, sir. By golly, we did it.
It was nothing, really.
Jim, stop looking so smug. What was nothing?
The psychological attack I planned for tonight. You see, I felt our wisest possible course from the tactical standpoint lay in a feint to the left flank and a drive through the middle. You follow me?
Yes, dear, right up to the part where you started to talk.
Margaret, the whole thing is elemental.
Yes, and very clever.
See, we pretend to give our consent. That's the feint.
Believe me, I almost did.
And then we hit them with both barrels. The cost of living, the struggle for existence. They retire in disorder. The units are smashed and the rear guard is demolished. What a fight!
Oh, dear, dear, the enemy is back.
Oh, come in, kids. Everything all settled?
I think so, Father.
Pretty much. Sort of.
That's fine. Now, what did you finally decide?
You know very well what we were forced to decide. We have to wait.
Why, Betty, I thought that you and Billy...
Mr. Smith, you don't have to continue the ridiculous performance you and my father were putting on.
Betty.
Oh, Father, you can be so juvenile at times, really? $125 a month?
We know some kids who have one for 45.
You people ought to get straightened out on the simple facts of life before you start fooling around with psychology.
Jim, your mouth is open.
Well, look, now see, both you kids.
Just a moment, Jim. Betty, exactly what you and Billy intend to do?
Well, as long as our families are determined to exercise parental prerogatives, we'll just have to wait until we're financially self-sufficient. Right, Billy?
Right.
Well, I never.
Betty, about how long do you figure it's going to take you and Billy to become financially independent?
A few years.
Ah, well, that gives us a little time to look around for our wedding present, eh?
Yeah, that's right, Jim. Couple of years. That's a long time. A lot of things could happen.
Uh-huh.
Hector, how about another cup of coffee?
Oh, thank you, Margaret. I think I could use one.
You know, Margaret, I'm very relieved. I'm so afraid of hasty marriages.
Don't mind us, Mother. Just go on talking as if we weren't here.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear. It's just that I was so afraid you were going to make the same mistake I did.
Hooey.
Oh, I wouldn't say you made a mistake, Elizabeth. Heck's a pretty nice guy.
Well, thanks, Jim.
You can send me a check for that in the morning.
I suppose I have been fairly fortunate, but of course people aren't always that lucky when they marry beneath them.
I suppose not. What?
Elizabeth, I think we better go. It's getting...
Wait a minute. Heck, what was that crack you made, Elizabeth?
Well, after all, my mother was a Rockefeller, and I certainly...
In other words, you think Betty isn't good enough for your son.
I'm sure that isn't what Elizabeth meant, Jim.
That's what she said. Well, isn't that what you said, Lizzie?
Don't you dare call me Lizzie.
Why not? If you can say my daughter isn't good enough for that puny excuse of a son...
Now, just hold it, Jim.
Writing poetry. What makes you think he's such a bargain?
My boy has a fine head on his shoulders.
What shoulders? I've seen better heads on a small beer.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so.
This is what comes from slumming.
Slumming. Now you listen to me, Elizabeth Smith. Your mother may have been a Rockefeller, but my father spent half of his life picking your father out of the gutter.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to lie down because he was tired.
I think I'm going to faint, Hector. I'm going to faint.
Oh, go ahead, dear. I'll catch you.
You ought to be ashamed. Upsetting my mother with your vulgar insinuations?
Oh, why, you little pipsqueak. If you were my son, I'd vulgar you so hard you wouldn't sit down for a week.
Fortunately, I am not your son, peasant.
Peasant? Don't you dare call my father a peasant, Billy Smith. Don't you dare.
That's what he is.
He is not.
He certainly is.
Well, I'd rather be a peasant than a pipsqueak.
Don't call me a pipsqueak.
I will if I want to. Pipsqueak.
Peasant?
I never want to see you again as long as I live.
Well, you won't if I can help it.
Well, you're just another...
Hector.
Just a minute, dear. Say, Jim.
I'm sorry, I lost my temper, Hector.
Say, Jim, that thing about picking Elizabeth's father out of the gutter, is that true?
Sure it's true. Why?
Oh, boy. Just wait until she pulls that Rockefeller stuff on me again. Well, thanks for a lovely evening, folks. Come on, Lizzie.
Yes, dear.
And, Billy.
Yes, Father?
Come on, pipsqueak.
Well, we started with breakfast, and we might as well finish the same way. Let's drop in at the Hendersons at breakfast time the very next morning. The average children are still getting dressed. The average mother is still racing around the kitchen. And the average father...
Jim, where are you going?
I gotta rush, dear. I can't stop for breakfast. Just time to catch the bus.
The bus, but I thought you said...
Never mind what I said. Just tell Bud if he gets one scratch on that car, I will brain him.
All right, dear.
I'll be home the usual time. Be a good girl.
I'll try, dear. Oh, Jim.
Huh?
Where did you leave the car keys?
The keys? Oh, they're on the dresser, on top of Kathy's 2 bucks.
Jim,
Now, what's the matter?
remind me to tell you, you're an angel.
I'm a dope.
You are not.
I got witnesses.
Well, why should I argue? After all,
Father knows best.
Gordon Brown played the announcer and Betty's boyfriend, Billy. Bob Reiser played the father, Jim. Kathy Glott played the mother, Margaret. Susan Taylor played the older daughter, Betty. Judy Kinsman played the younger daughter, Kathleen. Chris Norda played the son, Bud. And Mark Majeski played Billy's father, Hector, and was in charge of our sound effects. Thank you all so much for being here and enjoying the play with us this evening. There's still refreshments if you wish to have them and mingle with our actors. Thank you again.